Alright, good morning everyone. So this video, guys, is going to be a breakdown of the 22RR that I secured today on EU. Today is March 29th, Tuesday. So this is the entire process, guys. Everything that I just talked about in part 4 of daily routine, that's what happened today. So what did I see on the 4 hours? Right now you can see that we had liquidity here. So I can't draw on this chart, you guys, because I have some markings hidden. So I want to keep those here. So I'm just going to mark these out with my mouse. So this liquidity, guys, is your inducement. All right. Price ended up coming up, taking that out and falling. All right. When I woke up this morning, price had not cleared out this high. Okay. So we had a lot of this imbalance from the London session and some New York session, right? I got up at 7 a.m. PST, had my coffee, and then started looking at the charts. And what I noticed was this high did not break. Okay, so let's put on some markings now, and then we go through the same process. Okay, so actually, let me take off some of these markings here. So what did I notice, you guys, based on now, this is your 4 hour, and this here becomes inducement over here to the left. Okay, fair value gap, inducement, price took out inducement. Okay, what happened next? When I got to the chart, you guys, price was here. So I start marking out my supply and my demand zones. Now we have this wick that ended up filling this gap. That becomes demand. It took out this high. All right. So when we go to the 15-minute, I then marked out my areas of interest. We took out this high. We took out this low. So the top here, I believe, is going to be respected for supply, and we have demand down here. So let's put some markings on now. So we have demand, we have supply. All right, let's go to the next candle. Okay, this one here ended up being a slightly different buy trade coming up. What do we have here, you guys? We have demand here. Okay, but I noticed that this sell to buy took out this high. Okay, this sell to buy took out this high, and price ended up going up. Okay, price ended up going up and then falling. This created more supply, so I marked this zone out right here. Okay, mark this zone out. That is now more supply. So now what I start to see is I see this is being demand, and this was a quick scalp. Okay, so I waited on the 15-second, you guys, for price to come back down to this zone. Okay, so we're in my zone. I'm waiting for the chalk. Okay. So we had one here, and I put my entry at the order block that took out this high. Now, sometimes, guys, price will come down. That's why I had my stop loss a little bit below. Price came back in. Okay. Now, what I was looking for when I closed this is I was actually looking for a sell here. Okay. That I actually missed. I had a couple things that were going on in the morning, so I had to get off the charts, but I did have this TP set. Why did I have this TP set here? Fair value gap, okay, is right here. I felt like we'd fill that. All right, so TP was hit there, and then price comes up, you guys, and it gave just an absolute perfect 5-second chalk inside of this supply zone. Okay, so there's your first chalk, but there was another one. It ended up just taking that as liquidity. But if you would have put your short position, guys, at this OB with a 2.5 pip stop loss, you would have stayed in this trade. But here is the chalk. So we have a high, takes out the low, flip zone would have been your entry. Just an absolute beautiful trade that I missed. But again, let's go to the 15-minute, you guys. And let's go back to what we talked about. This 15-minute here, so this one's executed. This 15-minute was our rally-based rally. This was our demand. So I just waited for price. I just waited for price to come back down into this zone, guys, and start to break previous supply. So price comes down. Now we're making higher highs on with our chalk, and I mean that's like the 1 second chalk, you guys. This would be the 15-second. So price breaks that structure. Now this trade here ended up breaking even, which I'm kind of annoyed at myself. I should have partialed, because again, guys, you have to remember, like, I'm trading 1% of my account. So when you see the P&L, you'll notice this trade here I actually messed up. I put my EA settings wrong, so this trade I didn't even get the full value. I had the math set wrong, so that really sucked. But I fixed it for this trade. But this trade came in, guys, tapped me in, and it went 1 to 3 instantly, almost 1 to 4. And I should have partialed out. I honestly, this one kind of sucks. But I did go break even on this trade, and you'll see. And anyway, it ended up taking me out break even right there. And when this broke, guys, this low, okay, what I started to see was we just reached deeper into the demand, and we took out this low. Okay, so now I'm looking at getting into a trade here if we take out this. So price goes up and it takes that out, and now we start creating, guys, block flow. So we make a higher high, retest, and higher high. So once we made this higher high, I was interested right here in a buy to take all of this out to come back up to this imbalance area here. Okay, so price ended up tapping me in, and then it went. Now I went and partialed out here because of this liquidity. So I did partial, and then I closed the rest at the top right here. Now, why did I close the rest at the top? Because we had this fair value gap, okay, that basically was filled. 50% of it was filled. And what ended up happening next, you guys, was we got a chalk. Okay, so we took liquidity, we filled the fair value gap, or most of it, and we got a chalk. So I entered again. Now, again, this one I partialed out at the next supply or demand zone on the 15-minute, okay? Why is this demand zone? Because, again, this is where it can get interesting, guys, if we're not paying attention to price action. We just took a low and we took a high. So this was a sell into the demand, okay? So I partialed there, and it makes sense why price would do this, right? We're trying to figure out, it's going to range to figure out what it's going to do. So I partialed here, and then this trade came back and broke even the rest of it. And I could have got into a buy trade here, but I didn't want to just keep taking buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, because I was actually looking for sells. Today I was more interested in sells, even though I got into a couple buys, because I felt like the buys, in order for price to sell, it has to go up, right? In order for price to sell, it has to go higher to take out the liquidity. So what ended up happening, you guys, here was this here is liquidity, right? This is liquidity, and we still have this order block right here. I thought maybe this inducement would get run, but it doesn't matter, because in my rules, you guys, in my rules, when liquidity gets taken, so that's why I marked out this high, okay? I saw that it took it, and what happened, guys? it broke 2 levels of demand. So in my rule system, I'm obligated to take this trade. It took out liquidity. It finished filling the fair value gap, as you can see here, and we broke structure with a chalk. So if I don't take these trades, then I am being selective with my strategy, right? I'm being selective with my strategy, and over the long term, being selective with your entries is how you aren't going to be profitable, because if it fits your rules and your backtesting has said that that is profitable strategy, then you're obligated to take that trade, right? Based on your rules. Okay? We have to take the human emotion out of it. Obviously, like if you guys aren't comfortable taking this many, like I could have stopped right here of trading. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. But I was waiting for price to sell heavily because I believed it would sell today based on the higher time frame action. And none of these trades took out this low, and I wanted this low to go. Okay? Now, I slightly mismanaged this trade, which I'm going to be working on for myself because I'm a little disappointed, because you'll see I took 80% off. I should never have taken 80% off until this low went, but I was trying to protect my profits because it was such a good day. I didn't want to give anything back, but it is what it is. So how did I enter this trade, you guys? Remember what we talked about in all my videos. The buyer-seller interaction that breaks demand. Demand made a high. Pullback, demand made a high. Price came in, buyers came in because it didn't want to go lower. Sellers took over, sellers took over, sellers took over. Okay, this now is my flip zone. It's my interaction area between buyers and sellers. So this is where I enter my trade and I wait for price. Again, I'm market executing these, so there's no limit on this. I just wait for price to come back in and I hit the button. Boom. I hit the button, put my stop loss at the high, 2.5 pip stop loss. Okay. And that was the trade entry. All right. And again, I took 80% off here. I left some to run. And then I did end up actually closing the rest out at the low, which again, probably micromanaging my trade today a bit. But you know what? It was a successful day. I'll share my P&L with the group. But you know, it is what it is. This ended up just continuing to melt. So you know, if I didn't take 80% off here, this would have just been a really nice trade for the day, because that was the trade I was looking for. And for whatever reason, I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't hold it, and that's something I'm going to work on. So either way, this was the trades for the day. This is why I took them. I hope that helps you guys understand like a little bit about, you know, price action and just understanding what the market can do. And with the knowledge of what price can do inside of these areas, it formulates our trade ideas. Now, we've just taken out this demand. If you broke structure here, we could be looking for buys back into what? The supply, right? So this is what we can be doing. We can really, if you're good at managing trades, you guys, and you're patient, you can really be buying and selling all day. The market's going to start to warn you guys of where it's going to go. It's just, again, why I created the Putting the Pieces Together series, is to help you guys put the pieces together. So if you haven't watched it, or you haven't watched it multiple times, go and watch those videos, guys. Like, subscribe, share that information, because this is how the market moves, and when you start to learn it, you can start to just pick the markets apart, and you can get in and out of the market in, you know, an hour or two with some really nice profits. So I hope this breakdown was helpful. Trying to keep these breakdowns short, but thank you guys, and have a good day.